get into it with a physical confrontation, and I pulled out my gun and shot Charles because he was getting the best of me.
This parole hearing begins with a crime committed when the defendant was just 16 years old. He was convicted of second-degree murder after a physical altercation ended with a decision to use a gun. More than 3 decades later, the board has to decide who is standing in front of them now. They hear remorse, faith, work, rehabilitation, and support from voices that make this hearing especially powerful. My name is Dan. This is the Courtroom Files.
The Committee on Parole is called to order. Today's date is July 15, 2026, and the time is 10 o'clock a.m. My name is Danny Barra, serving as your chairman today. My colleagues are the panel, and Mr. Tillis to my left and Mr. Ledoux to my right. We're still all at the Baton Rouge headquarters, and our remote location is still at Louisiana State Penitentiary, Angola. We're here to do a hearing on Spencer Henry. Mr. Henry, would you please introduce yourself, state your full name and DOC number for the record?
My name is Spencer Henry, number 344-747.
Right. I'll give you a brief explanation of the process. I'm going to read some information, ask you to verify it. We're going to give you a chance to speak and tell us what you did to cause your incarceration and why should you be released. We'll have input from the warden, we'll have input from the public, we'll have input from supporters in a favor and opposition, and we'll conduct a parole interview. So let's begin. Today we have for parole consideration Spencer Henry, who is a first felony offender who was convicted of second-degree murder and on September 19th, 94, was sentenced to serve life without benefit of probation or parole. The sentence was commuted on 2/25/26 by Governor Landry in Ascension Parish. The parole eligibility date is February 12th, 26. The good time date is 7/23/43, and your full term date is 1/21/93. Does this sound correct to you?
Yes, sir.
All right. So first question, tell us what you did to cause yourself to be incarcerated and what you've done since then that would make us want to release you early.
Well, can you repeat the question, please, sir?
What did you do to get yourself in trouble? Why are you in jail? What you did? I'll break it up in two. After you answer that one, I'll give you the second.
I was charged, second-degree murder for well, first of all, I'd just like to thank this board for giving me this opportunity. And it was the family of Charles Singleton. I just want to acknowledge them first before I give what I've done. And I'm excuse me because I'm nervous right now, but Charles, me and Charles had a dispute, and we had a physical confrontation. Said to us, get into it with a physical confrontation, and I pulled out my gun and shot Charles because he was getting the best of me. And I regret every moment and minute that I done this here. And it hurts me to even talk about it because I know I took a life, and I think about his family a lot, and it's hard because I know what they're going through by me taking the life of their loved one, man. And I know my decision, man, I could have made a better decision And I just thank God, man, for his family because they forgive me for what I've done. And that speaks volumes. And I'm here today to let them know that every day I live and wake up, they'll be a part of my everyday life. And like I said, I just thank God for them. And because they didn't have to forgive me, and they didn't have to be in support of me being released. But I just thank God for them. And it just, man, if I could turn back the hands of time, I promise you I would. I would have made a better decision. And if I wouldn't have purchased that gun, none of this would have happened. And that's just a terrible decision. And man, his family, I just think about his family always, all the time. I made the worst decision of my life.
What you've done since then to make
But
us,
since then, well, over the 32 years of my incarceration, I've been better, working hard to prepare myself, become a better man because I was 20 years old then, and not to make no excuse, but since I'm 52 years old now, I have taken the opportunities and the offers, the trades that was offered to me and the programs I was able to take. It taught me a valuable lesson, and I have prepared myself to make a successful transition back into society. And with the support of my family, my friends in the community, and Parole Project accepting me as a client, I'm well prepared to be productive and prepared to follow every condition of parole. And I definitely will honor that second chance given to me if granted parole. Thank you.
all right? Warden, do y'all have any input about his behavior there?
Yes, sir. Good morning. How you doing today?
Good.
Spencer's been with us 32 years. He's very dependable. He works over at the warehouse, at the CPP warehouse. You have to be trustworthy to work in there. He handles a lot of merchandise. He hasn't had a DB report since 2012. He's a Class A trustee. He lives at Camp F. He's taken advantage of many of our self-help programs. He's had 100 hours living in balance, anger management, sex offender treatment 3 and 4, I believe. Thinking for a change, victim awareness, letter training, Malachi Dads. He wails. He's been to auto tech school and horticulture school. So he's adjusted well. He's no problem with us. He's very trustworthy, very dependable. Goes to work every day.
Thank you, Warden. Thanks for attending. Here we have in support several people who would like to speak. We'll go ahead and start with Kenny Leslie, a friend.
Stand up.
Just stand right there. They can hear you.
It'll pick
Okay.
up on the mic.
Good morning, board. Just glad to be here today, and I'm a proud supporter of Spencer. He's been a friend of mine for the last 20+ years. I've also was incarcerated for 22 years, and I've been released for almost 3 now, and my life is doing great. And I am here not for me today, I'm here for my friend. And as a supporter, not only at this hearing, but on the street. So, you know, in life, as you transition back into society, you know, there's a lot of anxieties and unknowns that you have to face, but you get through them with the right support. And I had a great support system. I had family. Spencer has great family. They're here for him. I have friends. He has friends. He has great friends out there. Had the Louisiana Parole Project, which greatly helped me get back and relax and some of the things that I wasn't dealing with through all the years. So, but as a note, I would like to say that I trained Henry in greenhouse production and pest management here at Angola. And he had responsibilities every day. And he had to do those things or we couldn't be productive. You know, the plants would suffer, we wouldn't be able to make funds for the program or nothing. So he was very diligent in his work. So I even remember sometimes he said, Leslie, just get out the way, I got this. And, you know, and I was glad to have that that boldness and confidence in his abilities, you know. So I know that he'll do well in the workforce once he's released, you know. So another thing that I've talked to him about is like the hidden things, and we learned this through some of the programming here, is like thinking for a change. You know, you have the iceberg effect where you got the Titanic going, they floating around, everything looks great, look at a pretty iceberg, but you don't, there's unseen forces underneath the water, which caused the Titanic to sink, we all know. And such is life, you know. So when you go through life, you have to go through it one day at a time. Take it easy. When things happen, don't let it get out, blow it out of proportion, handle it accordingly, you know, and so on. And then, you know, you got cognitive thinking and so forth. And that's think before you speak and stuff like that, you know, and think before you do, of course. And it served me well. The main thing I've gave to my friend is first thing he needs to do once he's settled in is to find a good church, get welcomed in, you know, and start giving God the glory, because he has to carry that burden just like I do every day of what happened and what he's done. So if you carry that burden and remember that, then you appreciate the days when you walk out the door and you're able to look. Excuse me, I'm getting emotional. You look up in the sky and see the stars and how beautiful God has created and how great this world really is, regardless. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Shalandra Henry Darcy, cousin, in support.
Yes, sir. If you don't mind, go to the podium here. Yes, but first, I would like to give thanks to God, second to everyone who's on the board, third, the Faithful family. I'm not really a big public speaker, but I've been by my cousin's side since this happened, right along with the Faithful family, because we all grew up together. And I know that Spencer would do extremely well once he's released. He's been incarcerated long enough where we have 4 kids. That's my husband, high school sweetheart for 38 years. Today is our anniversary. And those 4 kids that have grown up, they went through college. The oldest, she's in law enforcement, the second, psychology, the third, engineer, and the youngest, in Ventusville. But he has a huge support. We come from a big family. Our grandmother had 18 children, and amongst the 18, his dad and my dad are brothers, and he has extremely large support system out there, and everybody is willing to pitch in and help keep him on the right path. And need be to say, I just want to thank y'all again for having us here under these circumstances. Thank you all.
Thank you. We also have in support, Mr. Kerry Myers with the Parole Project.
Good morning, Kerry Myers with Louisiana Parole Project. We're here for Spencer Henry and urge this board to grant his parole based on multiple things. His extraordinarily good record during incarceration. He's been a trustee for 9 years. He hasn't had a disciplinary infraction in 14. He's earned his GED. He's been certified in welding and auto technology and in horticulture. He didn't stop at one. He just continued to earn as many credentials as he could. He works in a very trusted position, as Warden Vanoy said. He's been incarcerated for 32 years, and he is a true first offender. You can see his remorse for his actions. It is real. It's sincere. Mr. Henry has not only the support of Parole Project and the assistance and the programs that Parole Project will make available to him during his transition. He also has, as you just heard, has an extremely network outside there. Once he leaves Parole Project, he has a home to go to. He has a supportive family. We would just ask this board to consider the circumstances in its totality, the remorse that he has, the forgiveness that he's received, the work that he's done, and the support systems that he has. Should this board grant him parole and make the decision to grant his parole today.
Thank you. Right, and we also have Miss Adrienne Hutchinson, attorney in support.
Good morning, board. So I won't rehash everything that everyone has already said, but what I would like to do is tie it all together for you. Spencer comes before the committee a little over a year after this board recommended his sentence be commuted. At that time, Spencer was able to show genuine remorse, his strong work ethic, and actual rehabilitation, which I believe you've seen and heard today as well. Before you is a man who's confronted the deficiencies of his life before prison, and has taken programming to correct those deficiencies and place those learnings into practice in his everyday life. I know Ms. Ledoux often says in these hearings that you all weigh various things when you look at a person and make a determination on whether or not they're ready to re-enter society. And as Warden Vanoy has gone over all the programming that Spencer has taken, the programming that directly relate to the crime, anger management, living in balance, victim awareness, those classes that he's been able to use to refocus and adjust his thinking. As Kerry spoke about, he has immediate employable skills, right? We know we want people to re-enter society and be able to go to work. Warden Vanoy has talked about his work ethic, and in the time between his last hearing and now, he's received another recommendation or recognition for his work in that processing plan. The other thing I know that you look at is the reentry plan. Mr. Spencer has been incarcerated longer than he was free. And so the Parole Project is able to step in because we know that those changes for us in 32 years where we were present for were still major. And so what does that look like for someone who was incarcerated and removed from that? And so that's where that reentry plan is available to him to help him re-enter society. And then lastly, I know that you look for community support and the victim sentiment. I won't speak on the victim sentiment. I know that they are present and they were present at the last hearing. But what I can say is if you look into the letters of community support, you'll see a letter from the mayor of the city of Donaldsonville, where they talked about, they were aware of the efforts that Mr. Henry had done during his incarceration to improve himself, his conduct, his personal growth, and participation in rehabilitation programs. That mayor did not take just the family's word for it or his record, but it also reflects that he spoke to the victim's family and has confidence that Mr. Henry is ready to re-enter society. And so I think based on the things that you all weigh, Mr. Henry has kind of taken care of everything that he needed to in those 32 years. And we ask for a favorable recommendation with any conditions that y'all deem necessary. Thank you.
Thank you. We also have others in support but not speaking. We have Mark Dorsey, a cousin-in-law at headquarters. We have Norma Lewis, mother at LSP. We have LaTroy Henry, brother at LSP. We have Tara Lewis, sister at LSP, and Nancy Rocca, a friend at LSP, all in support. And we'll move on to what normally is called the opposition, but it looks like the opposition is in support. So starting with them, we'll hear from Yvette Green first, the system of the deceased victim.
Yvette Green. Does she have to stand up? She can test, she has trouble standing. She can testify from her chair. Yes, just turn your chair a little bit around so we could. Yes, that's great, yeah. That's great. That's good.
Yes, I'm here today. I know that incarceration is for rehabilitation. And I feel that he is really rehabilitated. And I hope you all can grant him.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And we also have,
I was saying with her.
start with that, no, and you are Shanika?
Shanika, yes, sir.
Shanika Singleton is also here, a victim, sister of the victim who's in support and feels that the offender has been rehabilitated.
Yes.
We also have some guests at LSP for the record, Alejandro Del Angel, a legal intern. We have Chastity Acree, a legal intern, and Bailey Clark, a research assistant. All of those present at LSP. As far as law enforcement goes, we have the judge who's voiced opposition. The DA office had no comment. The sheriff's office had opposition. And the chief of police was not applicable, and the attorney general was not contacted. Your case has been assigned to me. So I really don't have any questions. The team did a great job of explaining things, and the victims do speak heavily, weigh heavily. Unless my colleagues have any questions, no question. All right, Mr. Henry. Today I vote to grant your parole based on time you've been incarcerated, the programs you've completed, no victim opposition, governor's recommendation, and the warden's recommendation. And that's going to be 2 parole projects.
Thank
you. Mr. Tillis?
My vote also is to grant.
Absolutely do.
Ms. Hutchinson referred to my weighting scale, and he meets all of the criteria that I'm looking for a positive reentry. So my vote is to grant to the project.
Thank you both.
Thank you, both.
All right, so what this means, Mr. Henry, is that today your parole has been granted.
Thank you, sir.
This would conclude our business at 10:23 a.m. at Angola. Thank everybody for coming.
All right, thank you.
So I think what stood out here was that the board didn't have to minimize the crime in order to recognize the change. The defendant took a life, and nothing about parole changes that fact. But the board also heard 32 years of conduct, faith, work, remorse, and support, including from the victim's family. So I'm curious what you think. How much weight should that kind of forgiveness and rehabilitation carry in a parole decision? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, why don't you check out one of the 2 that are on your screen right now. Thank you so much for watching.